Okay. Good afternoon, and you are rolling on the road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. Dave is on another assignment, but as you guys know, this is year three for us. How exciting, exciting, exciting. So we do something just a little bit different, and we have Shana Thomas here today, who has been our top viewer for 3 years, friends and neighbors. 3 years she has been our top viewer, has not missed a show, whether it was live or on the replay, and can tell me and call me, text me, and say, you know what? Okay, so Dr. Burrington, let me tell you about today's show and how it affected me. So I want to say thank you. And by saying thank you, allowing her to be the co-host on today, she's our guest co-host, and she chose the topic for today. And as you can see, it's scrolling down there. It is self-love and confidence. How perfect, perfect, perfect is that? Because we were just looking at it before the show that there is this list. There's like 43 different situations that's on the list that they use for mental health to determine what your stress level is. And if you're above 300, you are definitely, they said 300 or above, you're definitely headed for some medical emergent issues. So we were kind of looking at it, and they assigned numbers, and we both could say, "Oh my God, you know what? This one, this one, this one." But the importance of that is that it can affect our self-love and it can affect our confidence.
Oh, yes.
So, we're kind of looking at all of that and saying, "Oh wow." Because I said to her, I said, "You definitely came up with a topic immediately.
Mhm.
And how did you come up with self-love and confidence so quickly?"
Well, I want to first say thank you very much for having me on the show
Oh,
today.
absolutely.
And I really enjoy the show. Oh, I enjoy every aspect of the show. But the reason for this topic is because for me, I think I'm living a new thing because I have a son who's graduated from high school and getting ready to start his life of his own. And then I have a daughter that's getting ready to leave. And I guess I loved on them so much that now I have to learn to start loving myself and building up that confidence within myself to know that what I have instilled in them is good. They know right from wrong. They know God. They know how to save money. So I've done my part and I now have.
Ma'am, you forgot something. They know how to cook.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
They know how to. I mean, not know just little bitty stuff. They know how to fry chicken,
uh-huh,
macaroni and cheese from scratch. They know
uh-huh.
how to make some collard greens. So
Yes,
I mean, they know how to make cornbread from scratch, and they know how to be entrepreneurs.
absolutely.
I mean, you really taught them. So we want to say hey to Tracy. Tracy is that whoop whoop. She's Maryland too. So we got Maryland in the house on today, all the way. I think that this is so helpful
Mhm.
because this was June, and there are so many. Um, there were a lot of graduations.
Mhm.
I looked at social media and I said, "Oh my goodness!" I said, "Anybody who knows at least three of these people, y'all gonna be broke." Buying gifts and things like that. But I just looked at all of those who are now empty nesters. What does that look like for them? And having to rearrange what it is that you're doing and your time and your energy.
Yes, and it's like, how do I? When for the last 17, 18 years, you needed me or I needed you, vice versa. How can you just step back and watch them just go on? And I don't know how to do that. And it took my cousin explaining to me that you have to trust what you instilled in them and know that what you taught them, that's what's going to guide and lead them through. And if they come across a hiccup, they know what to do if they come across it. So now I have to learn to just let it go and let them do them and not open up my mouth and just learn to love myself now.
All right, Callie is in the house. Woo woo. We got Deb all the way from California. I'm loving it. Uh, I think for me, I have been an empty nester for. Okay, so my kids are. Well, I have adults. I don't have children anymore. My adults are the twins are 36, and my son is. I call him a parent of spare. He is 29. So I have been an empty nester for quite a while, and and it was wonderful, just my husband and I, and now it's just me.
So how do you get back to, loving yourself? Your children are gone. You got over that hurdle. Now you're the loss of Mr. Burrington. I'm sorry for your loss, but how do you go back to learning to love on yourself and build that confidence up? How do you do it?
Well, I definitely took a few days to cry, and when I say a few days, I mean literally, because I made the decision that I was not going to just cry every single day. I mean, I'll cry if I need to,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't do it unnecessarily. And I wouldn't do it because others expected me to do that. Because I trust, he was supposed to have died back in March.
Mhm.
And, when we went in, they had given him 24 hours. And
Wow.
so I think I had really reconciled in my mind then.
Hmm.
And when I was talking to his family, which they're my family now, that they were like, well, we're going to pray. I said, we're going to pray, but we can't stop the inevitable.
Yeah.
I said, we can't stop the inevitable. And I said, and at the end of the day, it's his choice. And I said, you don't have to live with him every day. And I said, you didn't hear how the doctors spoke to him. And I really didn't like the way that they did, but I understood why they did it the way they did. But we got an extra 1,344 more hours. And I, I think like every show that I have watched, probably in the last 24 hours, there was somebody on there where they had lost their significant other. And all I could say was, oh my gosh, I am blessed,
Mhm.
grateful, I'm thankful because we didn't leave in a bad place.
Right.
So that really has helped me with, how my confidence, my self love. One of the things is that uh, the love language that him and I had, we would always get things for each other.
Mhm.
And for me, I would leave him cards placed strategically throughout the house, everywhere he would need to go. And so he would find something. And then he would always order me something, and I would come in and I would find, just a random gift on my side of the bed
Oh.
or, on my desk here in my workstation. And so I continued that for myself,
Mhm.
or, once a week, he would go and get me fresh flowers. So from the time that he's been gone, I have been ordering myself fresh flowers every week.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've,
That's
I've had fresh flowers sent to myself. I write a note to me and I tell me how much I love me. And, please enjoy these flowers. Tomorrow is not promised. So enjoy the beauty today. So I would write things like that. I still do, to myself. Last week, I went to Horrocks. And when I tell you, I'm going to post, I'm going to post it. I'm going to post all my flowers. I spent money
Mhm.
on flowers so that when I come, if I have to leave out, when I come up in front of my yard, I can still feel loved.
Love.
Come
Yeah.
on my porch, I still feel loved. As soon as I come in the door, I can still feel the love because that was one of our love languages, and I didn't stop. that I have to love on me as
Yeah.
much as he was loving on me. And he would tell me all the time, you know what, Mrs. Barrington, I love you. I said, I love you too. He said, you don't love me as much as I love you. And I said, yes, I do. I beg to differ. So, I would start saying these different things that said that I loved him. And then he just would look at me and shake his head and he would walk out the door. And I just like, did I miss something? And so I had to look at, what was it, his love language.
Mhm.
And then I was just like, okay, maybe he's more demonstrative than I am.
Okay.
Whereas I'll come up to you and I'll tell you or I'll write you a note, but I may not be cooking dinner. I'll order you something. I'll make a phone call. That's me. And I think he appreciated that. But trust me, if when on them moments where my little hands was like, okay, I'm feeling something, and I would get in that kitchen
All right.
and I would cook, that he liked that better,
Oh.
Or if I did something around the house that made it really homey,
Mm-hmm.
so that means I got to spend money.
Don't nobody.
So I like that, but I think the self love really has been number one, taking the time to rest,
Mm.
and we don't do that, not as women.
No, not at all. We always want to go and we have to constantly keep going, especially if you're a single mom and live
Mhm.
with disability. Hello. So sometimes you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. So I do agree that we do keep going no matter what.
Common Queen says, "Hey, oh, she about to make me blush."
Hello.
She's all the way from Muskegon. Whoop whoop. She didn't change her name. But she's watching on YouTube. I love it.
Awesome.
Heidi, tell us how you love on yourself.
Oh well, you know how you said you cried. If you feel so, you have a day that you want to cry, you cry it out. Let me tell you something, Dr. Burrington. I cried the whole month of May, the end of April, cried in June. Well, we're still in June. I may cry again soon, but I cried. I'm a big crybaby, and the way of me getting over the fact that he's growing up and my daughter is right behind him, I cried to get it out. I crochet and I find ways, creative ways to do things now. I'm learning that, but you know what I have to learn how to do? To get back to me,
Hmm.
out what I like, finding out what I want. And now it's no, I got to set this money aside for the children. No, now he's on his own doing his thing. How about you put that money back into you? So I have to get there, but I'm working on it.
I love it. Let me see. I bought myself a pair of teaks the other day, and they are, for people who don't know, it's almost like a red bottom, except for they have this teal color. Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful, beautiful teal. And they had this new shoe. It was called Purple Diamond, and I put myself on the wait list because they only had it out for like 30 days. When it came out, it was only out for 30 days, and then they put it away. And I said, "Are you for real?" So I called the girl. She was like, "Well, hello, Dr. Barrington." I said, "You know who I am?" She said, "Ma'am, do you know how many pairs of teaks you buy? Your name is like at the top." I said, I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. No. Mm-mm. And so what I did was I said, "Are you serious?" And she goes, "There's you'll get a pair. Trust me." She said, "Just put your name on the wait list, and you're actually you are like number one. You're gonna get a pair of these purple heart teaks." And I said, "Okay." Oh, they're called, yeah, purple diamonds. She said, "You're gonna get a pair." And sure enough, I got an email. Not even what just as it was 30 days after I had done that, and she said, Yeah, which your teaks are available. And I was like, click, 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 boom. But what I did was I bought a pair for somebody else too.
Oh.
And those are the kind of things to me,
Hmm.
they help me to boost my confidence
Okay.
in who I am because I know that I'm a giver and the enemy will try to come against that by
Yes.
sending people who are users.
Yes.
And so then I'll question, well, maybe I'm not really a giver because people, are using me. And then the Lord is like, no, 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 no. That's just the enemy of your gifting, but that's who you are. And you have to be confident
With it.
even during your attacks of who it is that you are.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. So that was, that was at the same time, number one, loving on myself by, buying these shoes and oh my God, they're just beautiful. And of course, teaks come with these beautiful toppers. And girl, when I tell you the topper that they put on there, it's like this deep amethyst. It could be a brooch, and it's about this big.
Ooh.
And I couldn't do nothing. I just sat there and looked at it for like an hour. It was just beautiful. And then when I saw the other shoe that I had thought about buying for myself at one point, they're wonderful. They're multicolored and they're vegan.
Mm. Okay.
Right. So, and I said I was being responsible. And the person never expected a gift like that and definitely probably would not have spent that kind of money on themselves.
Yeah.
And just to see their face when I invited them over and I presented them with the teaks, man, it makes me cry every time I think about it.
It done something to you.
And it took me out of me.
Mm.
And, when you do those random acts of kindnesses like that, you don't have time to sit and feel sorry for yourself.
True.
When you can afford to do something for someone that can't do something
For
for
themselves.
themselves in that way, and they are extremely appreciative of it, it, yeah,
See that? It
that's
makes you feel good. It helps build you up. Hence that self love. It helps build you up knowing that you can be able to do something for someone else that may not be able to. And you get great joy and great pride of seeing their face.
so this is another person. She's next. She's been a top viewer for 3 years. That's for Taji. She is in Detroit, and I would really love for you to weigh in. Her her baby just graduated from school as well. And what does she say? It's a labor. It's all about the energy and one's mindset. I agree.
And I tell you, with that mindset, you got to learn how to change it.
And it says giving from the heart always makes you feel good. That's God's love. And it's true. I think it's the ultimate love. I talked about that today. I go to therapy right now. I'm doing about 30 minutes once a week. And I said to my therapist, she said, how are you with self love? I said, I'm doing good. I said, I'm remembering, I said, the book of Matthew, that when you've done it to the least of these, that you've done it unto me. What are you talking about, Lord? When I was hungry, did you feed me? When I was without clothes, did you give me clothes to wear? When I was in jail, did you visit me? Did you see me when I was sick? What did she say? That helps with the mental health and state of mind. It does. And so she said, wow, you're really taking this serious. I said, I am. That I could sit here all day and feel sorry for myself.
Say
But
it.
the way to really love on me is to love on God's people, because that's real love. You know, showing that agape love, it it's almost like a catalyst on the inside of you that makes you feel confident in who you are, knowing that you can do something to help someone else.
Yeah.
And for this person, she says, "Aw, thank you. I appreciate that."
Yes, you are.
Says God blesses a giver. Even for a moment there, the Lord had me to. I don't want to say they were random people. They weren't. It was those who needed to feel love. He had me all over the United States just sending people floral bouquets.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes he said just send, the biggest, because you can choose from three, from it's like the good, better, best. And he always had me to send the best. And then sometimes he would say, add a bear with the flowers, or add the bear and some chocolates. I'm like, okay, Lord. And so helping others to feel loved, it works.
Especially when never experienced it before. Yes, yes, yes. It was me.
Was you?
Yeah, it was me, Dr. Barrington. It was me. It was me. When I received it at first, I thought maybe somebody's sending my son something because it's graduation time. And then he's like, "Who's sending you flowers?" I said, "I don't know who's sending me flowers." And he said, "Well, let's take a look and see." And so it was from you, Dr. Barrington.
And I didn't say it for that. I mean, I'm saying that there was just a list of people that the Lord had me to send, flowers to, and they many were not in my city. There were a lot that were not even in this state.
Mm,
And what an honor that was, that he chose me to do
yeah,
that. And
absolutely.
each person said, I needed to feel that love today.
Exactly. There you go. You never know the reason when you're doing something, but just imagine doing something for someone and how that brightens up their day and how that makes them feel love. It makes them feel like, wow, somebody really do cares.
I think it's not talked about a lot when we talk about self-love
Hmm.
and being confident. It's always self self-centered,
Yes.
but I've been on God's green earth almost 60 years, and I promise you, I promise you that if you look outside yourself
Mm,
and you encourage somebody else, you'll find that, oh my goodness, it's working for me. Because what do they say? If the mantra always is hurting people hurt others.
yes.
That, I mean, we can rehearse that all day long, all the time. But how about those who love themselves know how to love others? Why
Yeah.
can't we don't say that, or those who have self-love, self-care, and self-confidence, you can instill that in somebody else. But we want to perpetuate the negative piece
Yes.
all the time.
Yes. I
Even
guess.
those, even those who are, um, quote unquote, labeled as someone, whether they're a therapist or a life coach, that they always focus on that, but they don't take the time to say, So, have you loved on anybody today? Have you given someone a compliment today?
Well, I think they probably wouldn't want to do that because if you figure out what it is deep down inside that you can do to help better yourself, they may feel as though that, hey, they don't need my services anymore. So
Yes.
let's shy away from that and let's focus on the negative to keep them coming back.
Mm-mm. I say, please work me out of a job. That's what I want you to do. I need you to work me out of a job. Is my mantra. Work me out of a job so I can go retire and chill
There you go.
and sit and do puzzles all day long. What did Kwame Queen say? She said, "This is true. It's
Yes,
about it's about making your own legacy through giving. Can't beat that. You sure can't." And she says, "You have no idea how you have blessed me watching you have." But all right, there, girl.
there
Okay.
you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Um, well, we do. I mean, we don't talk about that enough. And I tell people there I don't have no secrets. Whatever I'm doing, whatever is working, I'll say, well, how do you get up every single day? I said, girl, I get up every day and I look in that mirror and I say, good morning, pretty girl. I expect great things out of you today.
That's right. And keep it going. Yes, you got
Like David said, when I had nobody to encourage me, I learned to encourage myself. It's in the Bible from
yeah.
Genesis to Revelation. You can read it in the book of Psalms. If you don't know how to pronounce what is it, the book of Psalms?
Palms.
Yes, it's in the book of Psalms. It's in the book of Psalms.
Well, that's absolutely right. You have to encourage yourself because you're not going to always have someone in your corner rooting you on. You're not going to always have that person that's your cheerleader. And sometimes you are sitting alone. Sometimes you are by yourself in that corner, and it's either you're going to sink or swim. And if you're choosing to swim, you got to you got to encourage yourself. You got to build up that confidence and knowing that whatever comes my way, I can handle it and I can do this. Of course, with the help of God, I'm going to be able to get through this. And we got to get there. We got to build that muscle up, that confident muscle.
Yeah. And I think, oh, there's Maddie. Oh, I don't know what she wrote, but it wouldn't Maddie is in she's from down south, but it wouldn't let her comment come up, so I'm not sure what she may have written. But Maddie, we see that you you had a comment, but Facebook removed it. But we really do. We have to look outside of ourselves.
Yes. So, Dr. Barrington, I know this is your show and all, but I have a question for you.
Or, mhm.
What would you tell someone that may be struggling or lacking in the area of self love and not having confidence within themselves?
She gonna interview me.
I'm sorry, I just had to do it because I
I,
know you know. So,
okay,
please,
so I like to say, let's go back to the genesis of it.
okay.
Who told you that you weren't worth being loved?
Mm,
Who told you which eroded your self-confidence? I like to go back to the genesis of it. There had to be a moment where someone said to you or did something to make you feel like you were not loved and to strip you of your self-confidence.
wow. So, you got to go back. Now, what do you say to someone that looks out at society and they think that the way society shows self-love or the way you have to have confidence, you got to go that route, when not knowing that if only you focus on you and do what makes you happy and build yourself up, you can do it. You don't have to depend on society's view or what society think or say. You just do what you need to do for you and not focus on someone else.
How do I tell them not to focus on that?
Yeah, focus on what society say you should look like. Focus on what society say you should love or who you should love. Be okay, I'll put it from this point of view with me. Looking at living in a wheelchair. Some may not know I was not born with my disability. It came along after I gave birth to my daughter. Now that I'm sitting in this chair and I look at society, you got to look this way in order to be liked, or you got to be this way in order to be loved. So, what do you say to some of those that are dealing with that, thinking that they have to get the way society wants you to look, or the way you want to mold yourself so society will approve of what you look like, if you get what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. That is number one, a hard road to toe.
Mm-hmm.
And and number two, I ask the question, how much do you want to work on this?
Mm.
Because if you're looking for a quick fix, there isn't one.
Yes.
But if you are serious about it, then we can start working towards the steps because this is not a quick fix. And again, I have to go back to the genesis of it. And then the second biggest thing is what do you benefit and what do others around you benefit from you staying the way that you are? Because as long as you can cry and complain,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll get attention. So if you're seeking attention and that helps with your confidence and it makes you feel loved, because as we know as mothers, sometimes our kids, when they want our attention, they don't always act nice.
Mm-mm.
A lot of times they act naughty and
Yep.
they feel like, you know what? Any attention is better than no attention. And so it's about taking the whole person and looking at everything. So are you used to getting negative attention? And that's difficult to come against when
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about self-love and confidence, because if that's the way that you have been able to get love and has made you feel confident, to ask you to behave in a more positive way is going to be difficult.
Yes.
And so it's definitely not this big quick fix, but it's looking at the whole person and what is it that you really want,
Absolutely.
and are you willing to make those changes?
So it's sort of like working from the inside out.
Absolutely, because you're benefiting from the way you are right now, and then there are others who are benefiting from you not feeling loved and not feeling confident.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, if it's let's say it's a guy, then I know I can always come at 2 o'clock in the morning and I never have to take you on a date. Yeah.
Oh,
Let's get real about this.
hello.
You know, or if it's a family member, they know they can always drop their kids off to you and leave them for a day or two, not pay you, and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
So the minute that you start loving on yourself and you feel confident, guess what, buddy? You can't come here at 2 o'clock in the morning anymore.
That's
How
right.
about how about you need to come at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and take me to get some lunch?
That's right.
Well,
Take
you're
them.
gonna so you're gonna stop and you're gonna weigh that out. Would I rather just want to have somebody who comes at 2 o'clock just so I say I got somebody? Or
Mm.
am I gonna love myself enough to say, nope, you gotta come at 2 o'clock and have lunch?
There you go.
The same thing. My sister doesn't talk to me unless I'm babysitting for her. So if I'm not babysitting, she's not gonna call me. She's not gonna stop by. I'm not gonna see my nieces and nephews. So you have to stop and think like, well, I'd rather be in a dysfunctional relationship than no relationship at all.
Mhm. Oh, so here comes you don't know yourself. You don't love yourself enough to know that you're not being treated right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, you just at the bottom and you're just accepting whatever comes your way just to say you have something, or just in your life and not knowing that's not self-love. That's self-sabotaging. You're sabotaging yourself. Oh, so hey. So all of that plays into it of how you love yourself, and not taking things off of someone just because you have to be with someone. Now, I do know that within the disability community, we do experience that. If because we can take for an example being in a relationship with someone, but that person only comes around when it's beneficial to them, and then when you are in need of, you're they can't be reached. So you have to learn your self-worth and love yourself enough to know that that person is not for you, and you have to build up that confidence to know that I can make it without him or her. I don't need you here for you to come around, Johnny come lately, I think that's what they're saying. So you don't need that. So we have to learn that in order to love yourself, you don't put up with anyone mess. And just because you're in a situation that you have no control of, it's okay. It's all right to be alone. It's okay to not have someone to be with you. Just know that you are all right, and know that you can build up that confidence and love yourself enough to know that you don't need to settle for less than.
And I think that's where we have the most difficulty
Hmm. Yes.
is I rather experience the negative, the hurt. At least I'm a part of something. At least I'm getting some attention
Hmm.
and I'm getting some semblance of love, which is helping with my confidence. You know, I tell people all the time because they say to me, if you could wish for one thing or have God answer a prayer, would it be for you to be out of the chair? And I said, absolutely not. And I said, because that's when I found my true purpose of,
Hmm.
of who I am and what I was called to do. And if I was able to do it, not in the wheelchair, God would have had me doing it before then.
Hmm. Wow. You know what? That I've gotten there. I've now learned, because my son and daughter asked me, if you could change anything in the world, what would you do? And I'm now learning to be okay with where I'm at in this life here. And I learned now to say that God knew what he was doing when he gave it to me, because if he trusts me enough to know that I will be able to handle whatever come my way. So the fact that I know that he knows, I may not know it sometime, I may not feel it, but he knows that I'm strong enough to handle this. He gave it to me for a reason. And I have to hold my head up high and keep on rolling.
And I agree. And trust, there are, even with the able bodied people, I think there are things that they have a disc, but they just don't talk about it.
Mm,
They just don't talk about their disc, but everybody has a disc. Everyone has been dissed, and how you deal with it is totally different,
yes.
you know. And yours might not be as prevalent as ours is because we're in the wheelchair and you can see ours. But I tell you, I felt like God just turned me inside out because I was more crippled when I was up walking around emotionally, you know, mentally than I ever have been physically.
Mm,
Because now I can get up every single morning and say, I love you. And if so and so doesn't love you like that and can't respect you, I don't care if it's the cat or my dog. You can't stay. You got to go. And we can't be in fellowship, nor can we be in relationship.
that's right.
But when I was up walking around, I could never do that. But being in the wheelchair, it's just like, you know what? I look at it, I'm already you can see that I'm disabled. So there's nothing left for you to really do to me. There's nothing for you to hold over my head.
Yes.
Because if you feel like, I even had people say, well, God is punishing you and for being in that wheelchair because you don't have enough faith or you don't believe. And they've said some of the most ignorant things to me because they don't understand. And guess what? I don't need you to understand what God told me.
That's right. That's right.
It doesn't matter if you don't understand it. I understand it. And while you're still trying to figure stuff out, I'm over here enjoying my life.
Hmm. And loving on yourself and building up that confidence to know that you can do any and everything you put your mind to.
I mean, I think that's the part that I really love. That if I wake up today and I say, I want to meet the governor, I know how to make a couple of phone calls and it happens.
That's right.
And that happened back in 2019. And here it is. I got a letter sitting on my dining room table that she sent me a condolence letter for my husband dying.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm like, go. That's what I'm talking. That's kind of life.
Hello.
Um, but I love it. It's that the ability to wake up and say, what do I want to do today? Oh, I think I'll just fly to New York because I want to meet Jennifer Holliday.
Hello. That's what I'm talking about.
And I got up and I did it. And I met her. I still ain't posted all the pictures. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm so bad about doing that. But I just feel like I'm living my life though. And if I'm living my life, loving myself, being confident, I don't always have time to always post because I'm living all of the stuff that I need to be doing.
There
You know,
you
I don't have to create this life because there are many people that I know personally
go. Hmm.
that they're always constantly posting, but I know what kind of life they're living. I know some people that was posting saying they're doing all these things, but they living out of their car, or they're renting a room out of somebody's house. I'm like, what? You don't even have your own place? Like, are you for real? Just, or they just took a picture by somebody's car. Mm-mm. And I was, very adamant about that. You can't take pictures of my house. You can't take pictures, by my car. You're not going to post that. And no,
That's right.
this is
That-
not your life. This is my life. And if I'm not posting all this stuff about my life, you don't get to do all that and try to make it seem as if it's yours.
There you go.
Hmm.
Hmm. I tell you, it's a lot of those people out here in the world. They like for things to be more than what it really is. And why don't you just be honest and be yourself? You get a little further in life.
I don't know, just because we live in an age where things are done instantaneously.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to have to work for it. We
Yes.
want that instant success.
Microwave.
Pop, pop, pop.
There you go. In what, 2, 3 minutes? That's what you're looking for. Hmm.
But it's just like flowers. I like perennials. Perennials, they come back every single year. If you get an annual, the only thing an annual does is just give you some quick color for a short amount of time and then they die out. So you want to be an annual or you want to be a perennial?
I'll do the perennial
Thank
Alex for 200. I'll take that one.
you. You'll
Yeah.
take that for $200. Thank you.
Yes, I'll take
I
that
like
one. Yes. Hmm.
just the integrity that's there. Let's see. We got some comments. Ooh, they said, yeah. Ooh, that's 100. Ooh, we appreciate everybody who is tuning in today. Today is our top viewer, Miss Shana Thomas, who lives all the way in Bel Air, Maryland. And she has been rolling with us for 3 years, friends and neighbors, 3 years. So today, she's the guest co host, as well as she picked the topic for today, which was self confidence. and self-love. So I think she just wanted to be able to interview me on my platform. I think that's what it was.
Well, Dr. Burrington, the way that it was set up was because you had so much knowledge. And I think we all need the piece of it. You just have to ask some questions.
And I appreciate the questions. I do.
Thank you very much, Dr. Burrington.
And I just love she said, Dr. Burrington, Dr. Burrington, Dr. Burrington, Dr. Burrington. And I appreciate it because we not only have a relationship through social media, but we actually have a personal relationship
Yes.
where, we have each other's numbers and we text and encourage. And
Mm.
I love the song for today. The song that she sent me was Encourage Yourself. I was like, I mean, she went all the way back. Y'all remember that? That's an old Donald Lawrence song. That was a big choir song back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. So I said she had already started the day. So when I said, you could pick a topic, she was already, she already had her own topic already picked out.
Already had it. Yes.
She already had it.
I think because it's really still is much needed today. Whether you're able bodied or not, we all still need to know about self love, building up that confidence, and encouraging your own self.
And that was the song today. Was Encourage Yourself.
Yes.
I liked it. It was good.
Thank you very much.
And I get up and I'll say it again if you're just now tuning in, that since I have been in this wheelchair, nobody knew what to say. Because, just like I acquired this chair and nobody knew what to say. Nobody knew what to do. And just every day I had to wake up and say, I expect great things out of you. Even if it was only saying, okay, you're going to be able to lift up. Oh, okay, just the bad hand right here. There we go. Lift that up. It's feeling a little weak today. And to be able to do, we call it the windshield washer. To be able just to move that, make that movement, to be able to hold on to the ball and, make the windshield washer movement. Whatever that little bitty something was that I could do, if it was just, okay, I'm a stand up today. When they pull me up, let's see if I can stand up more than 30 seconds without falling over. Those kind of things.
Yes.
So just starting with the small things, and when they realize like, okay, you're not going to be able to walk again, there's not the connection to the brain. I was like, okay, so now what do we do? And they put me in this program. It was called the Independent Living.
Yeah.
And that's how they partnered me with Disability Advocates of Kent County, where they teach you how to access life every single day as a person with a disability. And I was just like, I'm a what? I got to do who? Oh. I went kicking and screaming. But I promise you, at the end of that 24 months, I cannot say enough about them. I encourage others to go. And Lord knows I have been probably the top spokesperson since I don't know when. They were just here like 2 weeks ago saying, hey, we need you to do a video because we need to do ABC. And, oh, absolutely. I got it done in like a minute and 30 seconds. I don't even think it was 2 minutes. And they were like, we didn't even have to do a take 1, 2, 3, or 4. No. Again, it's that confidence.
Yes.
That you have. I think when you're doing what you've been called to do and whatever your passion is, just that confidence just kind of comes out.
Yes.
Because I'm really shy. Y'all go ahead and laugh.
I'm waiting for like, okay, not really, but okay, if you say so, I'll take it, Dr. Burrington. If you say so, I'll take it.
I am. If I come in a room and I don't know anybody, I get nervous. And I think anybody does. And so what I'll do is I'll start cracking jokes.
Okay.
To try to,
lighten up.
Yeah.
Up. It's nothing wrong with it. Nothing
Because
wrong.
when everybody starts, when everybody is laughing, I think it's like a universal language.
Yeah.
What did she say? Somebody said, really? Yes. I get very uncomfortable um, being in places where I really don't know people. And I just get real quiet. And usually there is, I guess I can't say that I'm still like that in that respect because there's always somebody who knows me or I
Yeah.
should say knows of me when I come into a room. So I don't have that same angst or that anxiety doesn't come up the way it used to
Right.
because there's always somebody that's like, oh my God, I know you. You got a show, or I saw you here, or I saw you with the governor, or I saw you speak. So there's somebody who has seen me somewhere in public. And so now it just makes it a lot easier for
Yes.
me to come into a room. But I guess that's really not fair because everybody gets nervous when there's some place that they've never been before. But
Oh,
it
yes.
makes them feel shy.
I agree. I agree. I agree 100%.
So maybe that one don't count. Okay, let me think of something else. Like, how am I shy?
Hmm. I'll wait.
I actually don't like to talk. When I'm done, when I'm off, I don't like talking. Because I'll tell people I talk for a living.
Oh, okay. But
So
with
I
that
like, but that's
being
not being shy though.
mm,
But people think that I'm not really a big talker because I have to talk for a living. And when I'm not talking for a living, I rather just sit and listen to other people.
hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You get to learn some different things from other
Mhm.
people. Ask me.
So if I'm in a space with other people, I don't like to be the talker.
Right.
I'd rather have somebody else talk.
Nothing wrong with that. Sitting back watching. Learn.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So just those little known facts, like really, like to talk? Nope.
Well, that's understandable. You do it for a
I was
living.
like, ask my husband. He'll tell you. Oh, he ain't here. He gone. But
He's there in spirit.
this is true. I
Yeah.
know. I keep looking over there because I wait for him to come in and be like, "You doing your show?" Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm looking.
Oh,
Girl,
he's
looking
there
for
in
him.
spirit.
Girl, looking for him. If he at home, then he like peek around the corner. Like, is it going good? Yeah, it's going
No.
good. Yeah. Just some little things, that you kind of miss.
Miss, yeah, but he's still there. Yeah, he's still there.
Flag and just yeah. Yeah.
But you're doing a good job. Keep it up. Keep on with the show because we need it. Everybody needs these shows that you do, Dr. Burnton. You motivate us. You push us to want to do more, want us to be more. So that's something you got to keep on doing. Got to keep on trucking.
Thank you.
Yes, keep on trucking.
You see what time it is?
It wasn't me.
Okay. I take responsibility.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Burnton.
And that's what we do. To be confident, you have to accept responsibility when it goes right, but especially when it goes wrong. You have
Yes.
to just say, you know what? I accept responsibility for it, right, wrong, indifferent. I take the responsibility. But
Absolutely.
this was a good one. Hopefully, we talked about enough stuff about self love.
Yes.
We stayed on the positive side. We didn't talk about the negative pieces that we just need to be upbeat for right now.
Absolutely. It's enough negativity going on in the world today.
I
Just
agree.
a little bit piece of positivity will go a long way right about now. So we're going to take the positive and go with it.
Well, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Rolling on the Road as we enjoy our 3 years. And if you have been, well, we know who you are. But if you would like to come in and co-host and pick the topic, I would love for you to inbox me. Y'all know how to find me. Y'all find me all the time, real well. You know where I am. I'm just rolling around. And so on today, we ask that you take the time to love on yourself, whether it's going by yourself to go get an ice cream sundae. I kind of like that. I like a peanut butter parfait from the Dairy Queen. That's one of my favorites. Or buy yourself some flowers. If you can't order them, from the floral shop, your local grocery store, they have some wonderful, wonderful ones. You just cut the tips off, put an aspirin in there, and they'll last for a good week or two. And just take the time, even if it's nothing but to have a cup of tea by yourself and just look at yourself and say, hey, I love me. Or you can actually get yourself a some Spark Scrub from Shana here, and take a nice, wonderful shower or bath and exfoliate. Got different flavors. I prefer peppermint,
Yes.
and but there's mango. It even has real rose petals in there. So don't get nervous when you see all this stuff in the bottom of your tub or shower. Those are just rose petals, to bathe yourself in roses and oil and exfoliate. I'm telling you, that self-love thing is real. It
Yes.
is real. And I'm telling you, if let's see, I'll take the three people who tuned in first, which was Common Queen, Tracy Walls, and Vertaji. Those were the top three people who were talking today. I'm going to reach out to you, and we're going to find out what flavor you like. And we're going to send you a scrub for self love and care. How about that?
Awesome.
So get that list to me, please, Miss Shana.
Absolutely.
And then we'll send them the list of the three, what flavors would they like.
Yes.
And so we can get that out in the mail to them. All righty.
I'm here for it.
So we want to say thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
And we'll see you on next week where we'll have another co host and their topic that they chose for the show.
Thanks for having me.